How y'all doing, beautiful people? I think my mic now is a little bit better than yesterday. It was a little bit too quiet, and I didn't preview it, so. But how you doing? And I hope I'm talking in this moment. I'm trusting that OBS fixed my issue here. Let me see. I'm sorry for the echo, but I still need to check the old way. Or maybe not, because my Wi-Fi is absolutely dog shit. If you can hear me, just say anything. Let's see. There's no mic. Oh, there is. Holy shit. Okay, it's a little bit faster, isn't it? There's a little bit less latency as well. Hey, Nixon Talks, how you doing, man? But then, now it should be a little bit faster. Maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds of delay. So that every time you guys talk about something, I don't go like, oh, can you remind me what it was? Yeah, now it's a little bit quicker. Cool. Alright, let me start lowering this garbage music. I know it's a lie, it's a lovely song. It's mine, so. Lies. Alright. And here we are. I also have a new display. Let me see if it's already in effect. Boom! Look at that shit. Isn't it beautiful? Now, I still didn't have a transition, so you still see the thing kind of fucking up. Also, the camera. I forgot the camera. Always a goddamn camera. Oh. And sorry about that, but it's a little bit cleaner, right? For the videos and shit, the background should change in a while. I mean, you know, a few times. It should be cool. Ah, the fucking squeaky shit on this thing. Oh well. Robe game, there you go. Once I get enough money, man, I'm gonna start selling some fucking robes of my own merchandise. I'm sorry for the chair, I need some glue in this fucking thing. But yeah, it's looking nice, right? Aesthetically. I still have obviously this one, which I should be using. Oh, the chat. I do not have the chat on the other one. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, let's keep using this. For the streams, I think we don't need too much. Right? We should be good like this. Alright. Now, let me stop talking. Because you obviously didn't come to my stream to hear that. And go to YouTube here. Didn't even save the fucking thing. I don't think I should need to. What the fuck is this? Immediately, this is what I get popped with. What's happening, man? Why am I seeing this bitch's cleavage all of a sudden, which looks weird? I don't even know what that is. Because like there's a flap underneath. I don't know what's happening. Ah, this disingenuous motherfucker. I gotta start making memes about that. All right. Do not get distracted. Flagrant 2. Let's go. WD. Yeah. I didn't even know. Like the other day, which was actually yesterday. Kind of forgot. I was able to stretch the spine on this thing, right? This thing has a spine. And I did that. No, I didn't fix this time. But Alisha is my witness. She saw that. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Sally. I'm gonna call you Sally, man. Like, YouTube is not updating my information. What's happening? Man, it's always when I'm streaming, dude. I fucking swear. I'm sorry. Like, YouTube is not updating my information. Okay, there you go. Fucking hell, man. All right, let me do some testing here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You know what it is? It's
All right, I guess that's good, right? Sally, I'm gonna call you Sally. Like, you know what it is? Oh, fuck it. It must be good. Okay, if my audio is kind of unbalanced, just let me know. Let's just keep watching this.
In order to have this discussion. But tell the people you guys were booked here a month ago to come here.
Facts.
Hey,
100%.
Deborah.
And also, when I walked to the studio, it was just white people. So
Say again?
I appreciate that we waited for Alex and Priest to show
Yeah. You know what it is? It's
Let's go.
it's because white people are on time.
Yeah.
Okay? Maybe there's something
The
over there.
The timing of it is facts for February. They
Yes.
pulled up them old clips just in time for History Month.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, that was. Listen, there's a lot of weird timing now with Black History Month. So, Long Beach Griffey, you know, the YouTuber, makes a video mocking, which again, it's not even anything too offensive, right? It's not even. It wasn't even about mocking. It was actually mocking the companies and shit like that when Black History Month comes around. And he got basically flagged with that video, which made him go like, "I give up with YouTube." Now he's an OnlyFans. Could you imagine that? And also this shit with Joe Rogan. I mean, people seem to take, and I think that's so fucking disrespectful. They start taking this month as an excuse to like, oh no, we're doing this for black people. No, you're just being a fucking ass. Don't hide behind excuses if you're gonna just try to shit on someone. You don't like Joe Rogan, we get it. But don't start fucking lying or some shit.
But I know, you know, when some shit is calculated, when it feels calculated, it feels calculated. I don't know.
Do you guys think that's what it is? To me, it's pretty obvious, but I'm curious.
If you've never watched the podcast and you've never seen the clips where they were pulled from,
Yeah.
You would 100% think he's one of the worst people.
Yeah. 100%.
Undoubtedly, right?
Yeah.
I've been watching the podcast for 13, 12 years now. So I'd even see the original Planet of the Apes clip when it first, like when it was out, right? Like that's old. That you're talking about. That's when he had like the 3-man setup. It looks terrible, right?
Decade ago, yeah.
But that's when podcast wasn't taking off.
Yeah.
So do I think it's calculated? Undoubtedly, just by the way they cut it up.
Yeah.
Some of the cuts were nefarious. Like even when
And there's a title. I mean, yeah. Not only that, to include the fact that this shit was actually 10 years. People, not like 9 to 10. It's 10 years. Back then, my life worries were about like try not to shit my pants. You know, I was having chocolate milk for break time. I was that fucking young when Joe Rogan said that shit. For us to have a problem now in 2022, god damn, dude, that's a little bit too much, isn't it? Like if this shit happened maybe 2 years ago, I mean, 10 fucking years. This guy still had like his receding hairline and shit like that. And you think that was an issue back then? Like, listen, stop putting the same standards of 2022 with people back from 2010. Everyone fucking changes in 10 years. Sometimes even 5 is enough. Imagine 10. It's so dumb, man. It's so goddamn dumb. And obviously the cuts are really, really terrible. They are so out of context.
when he's talking about like, yo, the word has a lot of meaning, he would say the word instead of saying the N-word.
Right.
Are we gonna act? Are we gonna sit here and act like somebody just discussing a difficult topic is the same as going up to somebody saying, "Hey, you're it"? You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we all agree. There's a huge difference. If I'm going to history class and say the word, right, in a history context, well, I wouldn't look at him like, he said the word. How dare this? We all know there's a difference.
Like people are behaving like robots at this point. They look like I have to. Nixon Talks can back me up on this one. We have to have a lot of patience with YouTube bots, as if already like in the current situation, it's already bad as it is. Now we have to deal with people the same way we deal with fucking bots. It's so goddamn sad. And people need to understand that it's just saying the word is not like completely out of the fucking like, oh, he said it. No. What's the context? Was he using it in a like racial way? Was he actually trying to offend someone? Or was he mentioning the fucking word? Was he quoting someone else? Like, and which was the situation for Joe Rogan, but no one gives a shit. It is so scary. My next video might be about that. But the fact that, and Joe Rogan even basically apologized for being white. We're going to have a discussion about that, because that just doesn't sit well with me. That is just so fucking ridiculous. When people look at the skin color, yeah, you can say that, but then they say those people are racist. Like, the irony is just too much for me.
Yeah.
And anybody who's reasonable knows. So when they edit that and they cut it and they do a super cut like that, I can't help but look at you funny.
Right.
Just by the way the video came out.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, are you saying there's a difference between calling somebody that and then saying the word in a discussion?
There's a difference between saying, yo, you're a bitch, and me saying, man, listen, the way the word bitch has been used throughout
Explaining
history.
it.
There's a
Right.
difference between those two
You're
things.
being offensive just because you said the word. Technically, that's what it is.
But that's where we're at
Right.
now.
And I believe that there was a switch. Like, let's can we just stop 2 seconds? Let's agree that there's been a switch in the past 2 years or 3. There's been a switch of how we handle things. Right, with that word was everywhere. Now we handle it and everything and stuff. Same thing that happened with that's the blackface in Canada, but that's another situation. But there's been a switch where people get really riled up. So that switch happened within 3 years. But you're gonna take a clip from
Before that switch.
way before
Interesting.
we acted like that. So it's really funny how I'm looking at the situation as like you're taking something from, let's say, 10 years ago, but you're judging it with the eyes of how we think now. Not taking into consideration that there's been a switch in the past 3 or 5 years. I say 5 years, even with the trans stuff and everything. So there's been a switch. So you taking something from 15 or 10 years ago and judging it at the eyes of today, I feel like it's a bit disingenuous. Let's put everything in context, and we have to put everything in context with the time, the time that it's
That it happened.
been watched in.
Yeah.
Interesting. Al, what do you think?
I agree with that. This version, to me, it's like when people are going back on old tweets and trying to cancel people. So now that everybody wiped their Twitter, now they're doing it with YouTube.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know, every day I go on my face.
Like, listen, I don't even understand this behavior. We should erase history. But then on the other side, people are going like, delete your shit. Like, which one do you want? Do you want transparency or do you want erasure? Right? You gotta fucking choose something. For example, there was a video that I didn't, like, I released and I was like, oh shit, the facts were not even... It was like I jumped the gun. I shouldn't have made the video. It's still out there, unlisted. Right? For those who watch and want to share that shit, go ahead. I think the worst fucking mistake is for people to delete shit. But on the other hand, I also don't understand people who go back to other people's mistakes. Like, bro, do you understand that if you had the same level of importance, the same maybe internet activity as most of these people, you would probably do something even worse than Joe Rogan. It is completely impossible for you in 20 fucking years to not do something fucked up. To post everything on the internet and not at least get one situation where you made an oopsie. Right? That's gonna fucking happen. Not to just Joe Rogan or anyone famous. The only difference is famous people are the only ones who get attention from the whole world. We don't. Maybe our friends remember that shit, right? Do you really want people to go back on your shit that you said 10 years ago? It was the same thing that happened with that transgender bitch that was on the that was leading the Dave Chappelle thing. People started looking back. Hold on a second, all this racist shit that you're spewing here about it, like intolerance and shit like that, but you did exactly the same, even worse, a few years back. Explain, like, listen, and I don't like this, but people need to start getting some standards. Do you want transparency? Do you want erasure? Do you want just total fucking anarchy and just wanting people to look back in everyone's past? Because you're always going to find some dirt. It's so irrelevant, though, because a person today is not the same reflection, you know, it's not the same person as it used to be. I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Facebook
10 years.
and I remove my memes that I put before.
Yeah.
Because Facebook took some shit that I posted.
You just got a
13 years
machete on some guy's throat. Look at this fucking terrified face. Holy shit, you've killed multiple people. It's not even a question. Okay, go on.
But no, but that's what it is. It's like they bring back some. Like I got some strikes on Facebook because of something I posted in 2012, and I'm like, you didn't catch it in 2012 when I posted.
The rules probably changed over time too.
Yeah,
so to judge backwards is so nonsensical. Yeah. But the platform won't take that on themselves. Nope. They don't want it to be their liability. So they put it on you to go review everything you've ever done with the new rules that come out. But let's keep it a stack. Who the fuck is reading terms of service?
Right.
Everybody just scrolls down and hits accept. You know what I mean? When you sign up for anything, I don't think anybody's ever read terms of service in their whole life.
Yeah, no.
So it's just like And you know what? I can't stand. I don't know if you felt the same way when I saw all those black celebrities, whether it's India, Ari, or all of them on the page, being like, "Yeah, go Queen, fuck Rogan." I can't believe such. I
They
get
don't even know
upset
what
because
happened.
I'm like, I hate the way sometimes black folks can be so manipulated into whatever agenda somebody else has to use like the racism term to bring down. Like if Spotify or whoever's got problems with misinformation want to deal with that, fine. But don't be trying to rope in like he's a misogynist. Oh, he's a racist. He's a trans. They always go through the same loops to try to get you.
Yeah.
And then I just can't stand it with black celebrities just jump on so readily for something they don't know shit about.
Yeah.
One usual suspect of this. It's always the same fucking guy. I like him as a player and shit like that, but as a human being, he is so gullible. He is so easy to bait. LeBron James, dude. Every single time I see a Facebook post about some shit, he doesn't know the fucking facts of what's happening. And listen, it's fine. You're a basketball. You're like a basketball player. You do that for a living. You're too busy making millions. That's fine, right? I would understand and most likely would do the same thing. But don't start talking about shit that you don't know. It's not that it is in your area, whatever the fuck. But and it's not even about like that drama that used to be between that random woman that I don't even remember her name anymore and LeBron James when she said "shut up and dribble." It has nothing to do with that. It's due to the fact that just because you can say something doesn't mean that you should, right? Sometimes you don't have the information. Shut the fuck up. Oh, but I have an opinion about this topic. Then start learning about the fucking topic or choose another one because you don't know what you're saying. I'm not gonna shut you up. But I'm certainly not going to answer to someone who I know doesn't have all the information. The fuck am I going to be doing, man? Like saying some shit while you tell me, no, that's a lie without knowing the facts? I don't have the energy for that. I'm 22. I don't have the energy for that shit. Hey, Alisha, how you doing?
Understand the knee-jerk reaction, right? Because if it's something that you've experienced.
Laura Ingram, I think that is exactly the name. There you go. Alicia just arrived and just boom, right there. She already knew what what it was. But yeah, I think that was the one, yeah. Or was it like Tor and something? I don't know. She was like on Fox News or something, I think. No, maybe I'm confusing. But I think that was the girl. Yeah. Or the woman or whatever. Yeah.
It's painful and you're not familiar with that person. And you, like you said earlier, you just see the video. The knee-jerk reaction is like, nah, fuck this. This is crazy if you don't know that person. But I think that like there's two discussions happening and there's a little confusion. One is... When people like myself are out here like defending Rogan, now that's my guy. I just defend my friends. You don't even have to ask me why. Like I know this person. Like simple as that. If Al does some fucked up shit, Al didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. Tommy Loran or something. Yeah, I think that was the one. I think that was the one.
You don't care
That's
if they
my
hit
friend.
someone with a machete? Who
Yo,
cares?
if you kill someone with a machete and you know you've also chopped down sugar cane and you're chopping through bone, you're like, oh, this is like sugar cane? Like if you're that type of person, like it doesn't matter. You're my...
Yeah, they're clowning on Preach because, as you may know, he has a story about him and the machete. So
But you're saying I
who
can
cares?
trust you.
Yes,
but it
you
was
can trust
Laura,
me. Because I know what you do with a machete.
We have to trust you, Preach. We have to trust you.
And there's no police here. If there was police, I'm like, he was the guy.
But you're not walking no sugarcane field with him while you're
Fuck no.
Let's give it a step.
Yeah, I want to show you my property in Port-au-Prince. I can see it.
Got Google Maps? You got Google Maps over here?
No, but so that there were people responding that clearly
just
don't
check
know
the-
Joe. That they were saying like, oh, all these people out here trying to justify him saying the N-word and him saying this horrible joke. And it's like, Joe has said that he thinks those things are horrible himself.
Yeah.
So nobody's trying to defend something that Joe doesn't think is okay. What we're trying to defend is the accusation of him being a racist. And we know this person as a friend. So we're like, nah, he's not. I know this person as a friend. And also, we're trying to talk about the convenience in timing of this racist accusation, because they try to hit him with the misinformation that didn't stick because he put it right back in their face, right? So all of a sudden this racism like immediately right off the bat comes out. This has been out for 10 years. Everybody, a lot of people who were tweeting about this video seen that video, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of them see it and didn't say shit, and they piled the fuck on right when it was convenient. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is a hit piece, and I don't know who the fuck started it. And now that there's so much pile on, you can't really point in any one direction.
Right.
But it does come from somebody. And I'm like, who benefits the most from this? I don't know.
The next video is going to be the trans video.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and the final blow is going to be Tyson.
Yeah, no, you could, yeah. Now there's gonna be this really funny stage that always happens with any kind of fucking controversy most of the times. And people are going to start dogpiling arguments from shit that is unrelated. All of a sudden, people are going to pick up even more out of context clips or whatever. Right? Because it's kind of funny. I think it's like the way that, the same way that this is pretty much a general rule on the internet or on any platform, but it kind of happens with YouTube. Like those videos that even yourself, you make a fucking video, and I have the experience of doing that. Make a video, wasn't that good, fucking blew up. Which makes you wonder, how does these things usually like dissipate? Because it's not even my best video. So it's certainly something that the platform is pushing, or the way that someone like this, maybe the right time, maybe the right keyword, someone was able to break this through. Probably some basement dweller who just decided like, Joe Rogan is a problem to me, and he just goes back on Twitter, whatever the fuck, or his clips to see if there's anything that can stick. And he most likely uploaded maybe a compilation, small one, or one clip, and everyone decided to go with the same fucking argument once, over and over and over. That's usually how it happens. And it's just so weird to see that shit happen. Because you never know, you can't backtrace that. You don't know who started it. I mean, the woke movement is like, Jesus, it's funny because it's not even an expression that people use it anymore, but pretty much, yeah, that would be the usual crowd. Let's say it like that. Excuse me, let me just.
That's the one.
I'll give him a pass.
You heard it here first.
That's the one you can't. Oof, hammer. You can't touch this.
You know who's going through this right now is Jimmy Carr. Wow. You know comedian Jimmy Carr?
Yeah.
Did you see the joke that he's getting fucked up for?
I heard about it.
So basically he had this joke in his special where, and I'm going to probably butcher the joke, but he essentially goes, we've all heard about the absolute atrocities that happened during the Holocaust where 6 million Jews
such a Jimmy Carr.
were killed. But a lot of people don't talk about is the thousands of Roman gypsies that were also killed. And that's because people don't ever highlight the good things. I'm laughing like he had a bad interaction with him.
Listen, you know why this joke, this is a very Jimmy Carr joke. Like, this is part of his signature. And you know why this one is funny? It's not even because of the shocking thing. It's because the way that Jimmy Carr, I can picture him. He is so serious. He looks like a journalist, like someone who would take it seriously. And he's like having this speech, kind of like emotional, and at some point it fucking twists into something very dark. And that's why people laugh. But seriously, that's the joke they're going with, really? Pretty much any joke that I think of Jimmy Carr are worse than that. Andrew is so messy. He is. But I mean, when was this podcast? It was today. This is a very recent. That's why I decided to do this before I make the new video about Joe Rogan. Which shouldn't be really about Joe Rogan, but I'm going to pick up the situation and address something that really confuses me all the time, basically. Unless something better pops up, I don't know. I have limited time.
Gypsy, right?
Did
Did a
you
gypsy
ever
make
been
you
to
It's comedy, man. Like, and that's the thing with Jimmy Carr, especially Jimmy Carr, man. That he doesn't have a podcast, whatever, as far as I'm concerned, at least, or as far as I know. And he usually cracks at those jokes on his own shows. You really can't bash a comedian when he's doing a fucking comedy show. Like that is his dojo. I don't know who said this. I think it was Dave Chappelle or whatever. But that's like a comedy club or a comedy special, whatever. It's a comedian's dojo. That's where they fucking practice to see what works for him, and it doesn't. There was no woke movement. There are basically a loose plateau. Well, I thought you were gonna say plateau. I was gonna be like, I know that word. I'm gonna pronounce it properly, but no, I don't know that one. Radical, pseudo-liberal minority voice lobbies with authority. Yeah, the pandering and all that kind of shit that that the left now has a lot of. Because here's the thing: that the right obviously is not perfect, right? The right has a lot of problems. But they're usually very loud and honest with the shit that they say. Not to say that there aren't some dishonest motherfuckers, but the left is very sneaky. Is the kind of like the side that really wants to pander everyone. They defend everyone, right? But then in order to protect some, they have to fuck up other people's lives. But they don't recognize that shit. they're the best. I've seen literally people who said, "Oh, why do I choose to be a Democrat? Because I believe in everyone," and that kind of bullshit. And I go, like, stop. Okay, you certainly don't love the rich, for example, with all these fucking laws that you usually see from the left. And I'm talking about already with a perception of the European left, which is quite different from over there in the United States. But I think it's like so fucking sneaky the way that they try to make it seem like, oh, it's for everyone, but not really, right? It's whatever gets the fucking votes, I think, in the end of the day. Joe got picked up for 100 miles. What? I'm sorry, this is my brain just completely slow, which I have an excuse because it's late. Yeah, like the pandering is something so, I think it's very distinctive of the left wing. Very distinctive. And it's not that they are worse or better, it's just that it's sneaky, and I think sneaky people are usually very like easy to hate. Because, I mean, there's a point.
Yeah, baby.
Yo, if you ever been to Europe and you know how they feel about gypsies, you know
Bruh.
every European's laughing their ass off
Yes.
right now. The European viewers are
Europeans must like, yeah, because gypsies in the United States, I'm not even sure how much of a presence that it is, but yeah, in Europe, that's why people, when they think of Europe, they go like, oh, racially you're good, right? Nope. We have all our problems too. We just usually don't, you know, we aren't very mediatic. And I guess for the most part, it's a good thing because we don't, sometimes when in an American situation, let's call it that way, people would blow that shit out of proportion. In Europe, you don't usually do that, but there's still cases. Don't think we don't do that shit.
like, yeah, we hate them niggas too.
Honestly, bro, I think a gypsy baby woke up and laughed at it. A sleeping gypsy baby woke up, giggled, went back to bed. But here's a perfect, and like they're trying to get him out of here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I don't know why.
He has the benefit of having an audience.
Yes,
So he said it on a comedy special where there was a group of people that all laughed. And so when people look at it, they go, oh yeah, there's a buffer. He's trying to be offensive. He's trying to tell an offensive joke.
yes,
Yeah,
it's a little more
and
tight.
it's Jimmy Carr, man. It's like someone you really know, like the specialty. It's not like maybe Joe Rogan who cracks once in a while, right? A joke like that. No, it's Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr's pretty much well known for that. I don't even remember him saying a fucking clean joke ever. Like ever. Like Dave Chappelle has a few, Bill Burr has a few, like he doesn't. They're not well liked in Eastern Europe, yeah. Europe has a huge problem with gypsies usually, actually. Because again, that could also be the same thing in the United States, but I don't think the population is the same. Because I think that those people like originate from Romania, if I'm not mistaken, or that region around that shit. But like you said, Eastern Europe has a huge deep issue with that. I have to catch this podcast. I removed myself from a certain part of YouTube. I had to subscribe to this channel. Flagrant, yeah, it's a good channel.
Context and I think social grace.
and we've had this conversation before. It's like rarely do people get canceled for jokes.
Yeah.
Like when it is a true like a true joke. You know, like your boy Mike Ward was making a joke, and but that's
And the little kid is back on that shit again.
really
So now Supreme Court
Just
told
give
the
context real quick.
Give context. Mike Ward, he's a Quebec comedian,
Oh, yeah.
and he made a joke 13 years ago.
Yeah.
He wrote that joke 13 years ago, made that joke in a special about a kid, and basically the whole thing is about the whole joke. The premise of the joke is how there's some people that are untouchable that you cannot talk about different people, and he put that kid in there, that kid that has a disability. All right, and that kid tried to sue him for
40 grand or something like
First
that.
it was 80, then it was 35, and then Supreme Court of Canada said like, nah, he didn't infringe your rights. It's comedy. Chill. Kid is back
wow.
for $372,000
Damn.
for him and his mom, and now they want
Why?
to go on defamation.
Defamation. What? Seriously. So originally it went for 80,000. This motherfucker fails, and he thinks, you know what? Maybe I should try. And hear this. Get more money, because that was the issue. That was definitely the fucking issue. That's not gonna make it even harder for you to get the full amount, right? The fuck is this? Like, yeah, it was this like kid who once grew up and shit. I don't even know the age of this motherfucker by now, but someone cracked a joke about this kid, and he's all pissy and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna sue for this." Like, and obviously legally you can't do shit about that. It's a fucking joke. Oh, my channel. Right. Yeah, I mean, from comedians. If it was anyone else, I don't know. Even that. Can I spend too much time here, Silver, but just pop in to say hi? How you doing, Control Crazy? I always appreciate it.
Wow.
Because he said, yeah, I tried to drown the kid won't die. I thought that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's important. But yeah, Sally preaches speaking about the scandal around the French-Canadian. Yeah, there you go. That's the even better context, I guess. And his sketches towards a disabled kid named La Petite Jeremy. I think that I said that properly, man. I think that I fucking nailed that one. La Petite Jeremy. La Petite. Why was I going to go with Italian shit? wrong one. Sorry. Le Petit Jeremy. So you got it. Nailed it.
This disability was that he was I thought whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Basically, his disability is that he's ugly as fuck.
You just took a machete to that fucking joke, my friend.
I put my pen down and I shut down.
I mean, at the end of the day,
You know what I could do with a machete, right? You remember that bit, right?
There you go. Tell him.
Vividly.
But go. At the end of the day.
Go ahead.
At the end of the day, when you're seeing all this stuff, I don't think it's necessarily more so about the jokes, because I don't think it matters whether you're joking or not. It doesn't really matter to them. I think it's what you represent and then how big of a figure you are, right? Because Carr, as big as he is, he's also living in England. In England, they don't really fuck with cancel culture the same way that we do out here. So it doesn't matter nearly as much there. Maybe it's Chappelle for what he says is his comedy specials, whether you deem it a joke or not. I think once you start to represent something in the zeitgeist, they start to look at you different. And with Rogan specifically, the jump to go to Spotify, the more eyes, like there's also a discussion to be had about the more mainstream you become, the more new eyes you invite to yourself. And if they're not used to what you say, if they're starting to realize how much sway you have or how much influence you have, you bring in a whole bunch of eyes that would normally never want to watch your stuff, and they come in with that criticism. I don't even think it's that much of a hit piece. I think because he's gotten so much recognition, now people are like, I don't like this dude. I'm going to start looking through his shit to see if I can find any dirt. And then they started watching a couple of podcasts and like, yo, he said the N-word there. I can supercut this. I don't even think it's as calculated as that. I don't think it has to be. I think just the more your name's out there, the more people are going to look you up. And if people don't like what you're saying, they're just going to find things to go after you for.
Especially if you're attached to an institution, because then they could put the pressure on the institution.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing.
Spotify,
that's what they're doing.
I think this was Phil DeFranco that said it first, and I absolutely like that popped a light bulb in my head, and I have to agree. Excuse me. Oh, thank you so much, Alisha. Goddamn, $10. Now it's quick, no latency whatsoever. Thank you so much for the $10. Goddamn. It says lemon character jumping, but that's a super sticker. I like how this actually describes a fucking sticker. That's cool. Thank you so much, Alisha. But yeah, it was Phil DeFranco that mentioned this first, which is the fact that whatever Spotify chooses to do now, they're fucked. Okay, because if they side with Joe Rogan, they're gonna get the free speech people right behind their supporting them. But then you're going to lose all these artists and shit like that, which you don't lose too much money because you still get a lot of shit from Joe Rogan, right? But it's a negative outcome. But then if you also appease, you're going to lose Joe Rogan, which also means losing a lot of money. You lose the part of the people, and he has a big fan base that believes in free speech. And you might retain some artists that might never even release fucking albums. I mean, I don't even know how active Neil Young was. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't releasing as much content and making obviously as much money as Joe Rogan, right? So in the end of the day, Spotify has the fucking cock is in a blender. They can't do shit. Whatever happens, they're fucked. But do I feel bad for Spotify now? They're gonna bounce back, of course. But yeah, whatever Spotify chooses, they're fucked.
It's just I understand that you don't feel like it's calculated. I just use a calculated thing because it's sus.
The timing is super sus,
funny.
Man.
It's sus. It's super.
But
I was about to say shifty.
But has it ever been?
Well, did you see the thread on your tweet?
No.
Come on, bro.
I don't look at my mentions, bro. It's terrifying. I was telling them this shit. Like, when I open Twitter and I get like a lot of mentions, I'm like, oh, here it is.
Bro, there's a thread on your tweet with 18,000 likes.
Oh, really?
Explaining who did it.
Oh, who do they say?
This is like a long thread, but basically, and I don't know again if this is true or not, but this is what they pieced together. They basically say they look at all the people that are propagating all the initial tweets, and they say it's a Twitter page called Patriot Takes.
This is the whole Portnoy thing, right? Okay.
So Patriot Takes puts out all these things. If you look at Patriot Takes bio, they're partnered with a company called Midas Touch.
Yeah.
And then Midas Touch is a professional political organization. They're a Democrat super PAC run by three brothers.
Oh yeah, I've also heard that fucking news. So this is an interesting point. Some people say, or this is a conspiracy, I guess, so far. I don't know how true it is, but it's always something that we should consider. But there might be some actual organizations that would benefit from Joe Rogan, which is seen as this right-wing guy, right? Which is quite weird to say that shit when you consider a lot of the things that he defends, but whatever. And again, I don't know how clear the evidence is regarding this, but I've seen this shit. It's been discussed by The Quartering. It also popped, I think at some point it was mentioned by Phil DeFranco as well, that there might be some organizations involved in this. And listen, if it's ever fucking confirmed 100%, bro, I lose faith in humanity if Joe Rogan still gets fucked in any way, right? Even though Joe Rogan he fell a little bit in my consideration. I'm gonna talk in the next video because of his position with the apology. Man, that was just pathetic. It's not that you can't apologize, right? I think apologizing is a strong thing, but I'm not gonna say that it wasn't heartfelt. But the fucking reasons that he gave for his apology are so ridiculously bad. Right. But regardless, when it comes to this whole discussion of the racial shit, no, man, relax. Joe Rogan isn't, don't freak out about what Joe Rogan defends, whatever. And specifically, if it was targeted, then man, that is game over to me. That if that shit can happen with Joe Rogan, it's gonna happen with so many people. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I just haven't seen the evidence. So until then, it's a theory. Maybe not a conspiracy, but probably a theory, right? Didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the actions that exploded all this shit, I don't even. But listen, even the Planet of the Apes shit, apparently that was also out of context. But even if you assume that one, right? The whole N-word shit, I know this for a fact because I've seen the clips and the context of the clips, which is even more important. And you know me, I'm going to probably say this in the next video and that's going to be the whole topic. Spoilers. But this people, I don't know about you, but this thing does not give me any fucking context, doesn't give me any fucking intention, right? This skin might be different to everyone else. But this doesn't mean, for example, if you're a black person and you say some certain fucking word, I don't know. I really can't come up with some any word right now. That doesn't mean that automatically just because you're black, you probably mean something with it. Because that's incredibly fucking that's stereotyping someone. Basing yourself because he is from this race, he probably means this. Or for a fact that he means this. Bro, isn't that fucking racist itself? I don't really understand how people can view this shit and not say, you know what, it's a little bit ironically idiotic. Right? But like I said, this shit doesn't determine intention. And I saw the fucking context of the clips. And I know he was quoting people, purely mentioning the fucking word. Right? This, people, is not a fucking offense. Okay? Whatever this shit is, white, black, purple, I don't know. Give me any fucking skin color. Right? This does not put fucking meaning to your words. Whatever you defend is what's gonna give meaning to it. Hey, Cariz, how you doing, man? It was a cut compilation, yeah. They trace it back based on who's financing the ads. I don't think many leftists will care. Of course not. They really don't care about that. I know that, Alisha. It was like the whole Dave Chappelle thing versus the trans community. It wasn't really about Dave Chappelle versus trans community. It was actually about these offended little fucking flowers over on Twitter that had an issue. There was a lot of trans, even on YouTube, transgender people going no, he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, what did you people hear? Even Caitlyn Jenner, man, one of the biggest names when it comes to the transgender community, where she was nah, relax. Jesus, man.
And you can basically like
But I
find
know
the
that,
people,
Alisha.
and they're basically just getting like unlimited funding. And I don't really understand how super PACs work, but my understanding is like it's a political tool that you can just get unlimited money to fund campaigns. So you can't put money into politicians' pockets, but you can hire a super PAC that can get unlimited money. So it basically acts as like a financial buffer between the rich people and the corporations and the politician that's actually making the influence.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how like George Soros can just put in endless millions to support all these tiny little.
But it also
campaigns and
allows the PAC to control the decisions of the candidate.
Yeah.
So if a candidate wants the money, they got to do what the PAC wants.
Certain promises.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it goes
Yeah.
both ways. There's Republican super PACs and Democrat super PACs.
Right.
And so people are pointing to Patriot takes and their connection with Midas Touch as basically it's coming from like unspecified Democrat funding is what people are suggesting.
Now Portnoy did like a YouTube live
Yeah, I saw part of it.
yesterday, and I think he referenced the tweet of mine, and then he was talking to these guys, and then what was the outcome? Because it felt like, at least from the reaction on the internet, that no clear like victor, there was no clear responsible party.
I mean, the one thing that you can watch and just assume is that Midas Touch isn't responsible for cutting together the compilation video of Rogan.
Yeah.
That was also the same one that was done for Portnoy and Business Insider. Like you can, I mean, I don't know the proof, but you can kind of feel that almost Portnoy believed that. And then it led into his belief to say, tell me that you guys are part of this group that is trying to really bring people down.
Because Portnoy thought there was
way.
connective tissue between the hit piece on him and the videos that went out on him and this piece on Rogan.
Right.
So he was trying to be like, yo, there's one party trying to take all of us down. Let's point the finger at these guys, see if it's them. But it looked like the guys defended themselves well.
Yeah. And he just didn't have enough proof. I mean, it was pretty impromptu. Like it was from a couple tweets early in the daytime to like a midnight New York time like live session, and he tried to pivot towards. But yeah, he did name check you that he kind of saw, oh shit, this is a strategic power play and a hit piece. And
but I think it's two pronged if it is the super PAC that's behind it, because one, they get the, I guess, like clout and business like resume of saying like, yo, we took down a massive political player and like a broadcaster. So if you're going to try to like put money into a super PAC, this is the one you want to put it into because we have the actual influence.
Oh yeah.
And secondly, if you look at Rogan's endorsements in the past, even if he's endorsed Democrats, it hasn't been like establishment Democrats. So
Right,
it's been,
he'll
like the
endorse
Bernie Sanders
Bernie,
and like more
not
fringe
Hillary,
Democrats that people in the Democrat Party probably are not as big of fans of.
So you would say the Democratic establishment has the most to gain by silencing Rogan? Because
Based
he's
off
not
of
going to
this,
support the people that they want to put in power.
I don't know if they have the most to gain necessarily. Like I think news has a lot to gain, and I don't know if you can equate or
Well, that's the
I
other
don't
thing.
know
It's
which
like,
one you could say is the most.
there's a bunch of people who stand to gain from it, and they're going to pile right the fuck up on.
Of course.
And that's why it's almost like the perfect storm if you're trying to get him out of here, because all you need to do is light the match.
Conservative media might have something
Yeah,
to
well,
gain from it.
I don't think. No,
go ahead. I was going to say, without Trump in the building, I think this becomes a great focal point. Like, I feel like there's always a new story on Rogan every week.
Oh yeah, they've made him the new Trump.
Right. Which I think is not the most convenient because Rogan is not outlandish enough for them to like fight back or to be combative.
Yeah.
So it doesn't create a great back and forth that stays on TV. But as long as they can come up with these stories, they'll churn him out as long as they can. And he is white male, straight.
Yeah.
Right, said some racist stuff, says edgy things, potentially anti-vax, says some controversial stuff in regards to pandemic.
Yeah.
Perfect vocal point because they got all the clips that they need. Perfect vocal point. It's money. It's money. I guarantee you the stories that they write on Rogan are probably their highest rated stories.
100%.
and I don't even think that nobody has to benefit from. It's not from Rogan being here, because Rogan kind of encourages.
What if every situation where this shit is common, right? Like when shit blows up out of nowhere. What if that actually has the same origin as this one? Maybe less obvious, but there's always a company trying to make money out of this. That would be fucking crazy. I watched the Portnoy video. Is that the guy from Barstool, right? That was some bullshit of what happened with him. But this was a few months ago with the whole like accusations and shit. Because it backfired. He actually had the fucking receipts and shit like that, and people were like, okay, we're gonna shut up now. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna acknowledge what he said. Duran, what is that? This is an interview of Aaron Preach. I mean, this is a podcast. It's usually like the host will also you know, have some conversation. I mean, you can't just rely on the guest 100%.
People to talk.
Yeah.
People to have a different opinion.
Yeah.
People to be able to converse. People to be in the middle. And what
See, now
political
they're talking.
party hates? People in the middle. People that are nuanced. Nuance kills the political thing.
Yeah.
You gotta
The amount of people who, I don't even know how you can do that, man. Have a problem with someone who's like, okay, you know what? I see what you're saying, and I think you have a point. But I also see what he has. Like, I see what he's saying, and I think he has a point. Like, people get mad at this guy. It's like when two people are fighting and someone tries to break them up. I don't know why, but this person is always the one who ends up getting, you know, sucker punched in the face or whatever. It's so stupid, but you know, politically, I mean, it's not the same thing as a fight. I would expect people to be, you know, collected, you know, calm and rational. But no, like, people look at someone who's nuanced. Now you gotta have a position. Like, that mentality is so crazy to me. I can't even believe that people, you know, have that faith that you gotta have to be, like, you have to have one side. Oh, it's a band, okay. Let us talk shit in the chat. Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Like, just
go on one side, or you
Go
gotta go
crazy.
the other. You gotta be all the way blue or all the way red.
God
So
forbid
if-
you think for yourself, right? Like,
So
yeah.
if he's able to just be like, no, maybe they got something, and maybe they got something, and let's meet in the middle. Both these motherfuckers, they hate that shit. So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing.
On the other side, though, and I think it's important to both be fair. I've seen a lot of people criticize Rogan for the simple fact that when he has these more controversial guests, his own biases come in and he doesn't offer any pushback on the guests who may say some wacky stuff. Because there have been some guests he's had on who said some stuff that's just absolutely nonsensical.
Yeah.
Right? And to that, I'm always like, yeah, you know what? There is a bias there. Even me, when I watch the podcast, I can see that. But I don't look to Rogan to be the unbiased source. The same way when I go on CNN, I'm not expecting them to be like, well, I can understand the anti-vaxxers. The same way when I go on, like, right? Everybody's got their, I think there's this idea.
yes, on the fucking dollar with this one. It is so crazy to me. I think I mentioned in the previous video as well. But this whole thing of, like, Joe Rogan with the misinformation, boo, and people like this, you can see the fucking scale this shit is hitting, right? Through the roof. But then fucking CNN tells that story that now we know for 100% was a lie about, you know, him taking horse medicine. No one gave a shit. Like, we heard that fucking thing for maybe at most 3-4 days when this shit was new, and then people moved on. Even I moved on. Right? But now this shit, like, Joe Rogan says the N-word because he's quoting someone else, right? And has, like, misinformation about the vaccine. Let's make this whole fucking thing for, like, 2 weeks or something. Like, I don't understand people's, like, consistency. How can you look at that shit like Joe Rogan, someone on Spotify, which I would say that many people still tune to TV, even though it's dying, right? But still a lot of people watch TV. CNN is a national television. I would, as far as I'm concerned, I know I'm outside of the United States, but it's like a national, like, that's present in every fucking state. CNN is there, right? It's on TV. It's one of the biggest networks, in fact. Obviously, when I say CNN, also Fox News, but I'm bringing up this specific situation of the horse medicine shit. They fucking lied, straight up lied. When confronted, they still fucking doubled down and said, no, we, like, this is what we, like, what we said is still correct. And people fucking forgot that shit. But this one, some bald guy in the basement, right? Fucking, like, says his opinion, even if it's filled with misinformation. You have a problem. But fuck all those fucking TV stations that get paid millions. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I just can't honestly understand any of this mentality. It's something so outside of my, I don't know, thought process that I can't understand why someone would do that kind of shit, you know?
Of, like, the unbiased individual or the unbiased
Yeah, it's convenient.
reporter or the unbiased news network. It doesn't exist.
Dude,
Not that I know of. Does
Look at
anybody
the
know?
fucking Supreme Court.
Yeah.
They're literally hired to be unbiased. And they vote the party line every single time. And that's why it's such a big fucking deal when one is going to get nominated who might be like a Republican or has certain beliefs. It's like, it shouldn't matter what their party is.
No.
You're literally just looking at the Constitution and making your decision based on the
Technically,
Constitution.
you're supposed to do your job, so their political values shouldn't matter.
Out the window.
Because, well, write on a paper, terms and condition. Yeah, but nobody reads the fucking terms and
But yo,
conditions
that's a
like
good
that.
point. Like, I don't want Rogan to be neutral. Just be you, dog.
No.
Like he never said, hey, I'm the neutral guy and I'm just giving it information. Like have the people on you're interested in. Yo, if you're interested in Native Americans, have a guy on who wrote a fucking book about Native Americans. You don't owe nobody anything.
No.
Right? CNN, Fox News, the people that come out there and they just go, hey, we are the truth. You owe us some truth, yo. Yeah. And if you don't, we could be upset. Yeah. But the guy doing a podcast that's talking to scientists and is curious about things, he owes us his curiosity.
That's exactly what a podcast is.
Yeah.
You can be listening to it, and while you're on your laptop, like, oh, they just talked about this. Let me Google and do more digging.
It's like they forgot the whole.
Yeah. God forbid
what
we do
a
work.
podcast is. They forgot about it the minute that motherfuckers started to get numbers. The minute that people started, I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at them because you fucked up. But that's not on Joe Rogan. That's on all the media that fucked up and do some fucked up shit.
Guys, big Infamous tour update, especially.
Okay, no disrespect here for the ads, but obviously this would be more beneficial if you see is video. I'm just gonna jump the ads because my time is limited.
Flagrant for official rules. Guys, let's get back to the show.
Do you think there's a bit of programming? Like in the sense that whether it's this or whether it's the fact that people watch a 2-minute clip and they come to a knee-jerk reaction, is there not a bit of programming mentally where our minds are just not capable of... We have to simplify things. I can't get to know everybody. Like I'm not going to watch a 10-minute video on Al or a 1-hour video on Al to know if I see a 2-minute clip, like you're a piece of shit to me because I don't have time to do the extra research. I don't think our brains can look at every incident and wait to make a judgment, right?
We had a discussion about this.
Yeah. So like I'm reading this book right now, Roger Ailes, like the dude that basically like ran Fox from like behind the scenes, and he's like evil capitalist guy, but like also kind of a genius at the same time, like a tricky character. Yeah. But basically he was the first guy that like made politics entertainment on TV, and was like, yo, make the TV think for people. And he has a quote in the book where he's like, bro, thinking is hard. Yeah, it is hard to think. Let the TV think for you.
And people want.
Sometimes I even wish, like, I get jealous of idiots sometimes. Because it must be nice to not think for a day, you know? Like, not have any... And I overthink, which is even, like, that's not being smart. That's actually really bad for you, right? Overthinking doesn't help anyone. And I'm, a huge overthinker when it comes to that. And, you know... But I would like to live a fucking day where it goes to the complete other extreme. It's like a relief. I don't have to think about anything. That would be actually quite fucking cool. But, you know, obviously quite impossible. I'm not even saying like not like being dumb. I'm talking about unconscious, like just not even think about the fucking things. I wish. But thinking is hard, man. And, you know, my like doing YouTube kind of showed me that, holy shit, you can't do a video in one day. Sometimes you can, depending on the topic. But if it's something like, if you want to research something, it's going to take you more than one fucking day. You know, I did less research back in college so that you can have some some understanding there. Ah, shit. No one likes the Black Keys, man. That's a fucking band right there. That was, I'm sorry. I haven't been reading a little bit. Okay, so Alisha, there's been indeed an ominous racial component that prevails in any attempt to cancel black celebrities, whether it's unjustified or contrary. Bill Burr made trans jokes for decades, and YouTube has a limit on the chat, goddamn. And they never went into a backlash about it. But God forbid when a black person had been a trans woman, that they would have lashed out on Dave Chappelle no matter what. I do think that, yeah, some of that factor also plays in. All comedians treat Dave Chappelle as king of the jokers. In order to take out the rooks, they have to take out the king. Maybe that is also true. Do people see like black comedians as a weakness, like as a weak point? I mean, Bill Burr is also getting a lot of backlash. But I you know what I would say about Bill Burr? Even though he's like, even if you position him at the second position, the best comedians, he is still like quite of a leap from Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle is like this, like Alisha is saying, the undisputed king, right? And he's in the first place by a lot, like a long shot. And there's a lot of comedians that I really like, man. Like Andrew Schulz I love his fucking style, really. But obviously you can't even compare that, like the distance yet, right? But yeah, is it race? I really don't fucking know. But it wouldn't surprise me that all these people fucking think about that shit. Like oversensitive shit.
Want to just digest information that's already worked out. I mean, that's my frustration right now with news is like, I don't trust any of it. So I find myself checking out of information.
Yes.
Right? Like I actually will go to like my friends for takes. I go to my friend going, what is your take on this? Even if it's not based in fact or anything, I'm just like, well, what do you feel? Because your feeling is probably just as accurate as the bullshit I'm going to get on MSNBC or Fox News. Right? So if people want to remove themselves from that thinking process and they find a place where they believe the truth is, they'll start to just convince themselves that that's the truth.
Right.
It is what it is. So I understand like people feeling maybe misled in that regard, but like that's the human reaction. That's the human instinct. Let's do as little work as possible to get the most information that we can.
Yes.
Right? It's like that's why books exist, right? Oh, this guy's an expert on that. He figured it all out. Okay, I'm going to digest this book.
So I don't want to go to college for 3 years and then university for 5,
Bro,
and then have a doctorate.
You want some real shit?
I don't give a fuck about.
I'm trying to figure out a story. I go on YouTube. I go, let me see if Abba and Preach already figured out this goddamn story. You know how many people watch your shit because they're like, I don't want to research this shit. Abba and Preach researched it.
Yeah, they did the work.
You guys did the work.
You know what we did? Google.
But that's
Do we have a research? Hell no. You pay somebody else, nigga, to Google for me? Fuck out.
But you read something. You read two.
Even with that, man, sometimes I'm thinking, can I pay someone to Google like the best topics and shit? Because sometimes, even that fucking thing sometimes, going to YouTube is already a lot of work, right? But for people who don't do that shit daily, bro, spend fucking 10 minutes researching something if it's so like, such a big thing for you. I fucking have to do that shit almost daily as it is, no matter how heavily involved I am in a topic or not. You can't do that shit for 10 fucking minutes.
Things.
Yeah, I read what
A couple
CNN
of
wrote.
things, and
Bro,
then we put
research.
it together.
Dude, when we were doing the rants, bro, the research was the hardest part. Writing the jokes is fun.
Dude, even if you write a script, like it's flowing, dude. It's so fucking easy, right? The research will always be the hardest part. The recording, even editing, fuck that. Right? I'm assuming that not even Andrew Schulz takes care of the fucking editing. At least that would make sense. I take care of the editing. Even the editing is not an issue. The research is really what just... Goddamn. It is tough. But again, if you want the responsibility of like knowing the information, then fucking research. If not, shut the fuck up. Or put a disclaimer. Hey people, this is my opinion. That's fair. Oh, excuse me. They are, yeah, the community, absolutely. When people target comedians, which are like the people who are supposed to make life fun in this, like in already very stressed out fucking life, you know, some people have issues, man. Like, god damn it, social issues for the most part, I'm assuming. That's why I watched the whole old school stand-up, yeah. Patrice O'Neill, Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was basically Dave Chappelle at the time, right? It was like #1. And you always have to respect the classics, so he might be the #1 of everything. But that was also a very cool comedian. What was that name? Dangerfield, right? Was that the name? I might be fucking it up. This guy actually even told clean jokes, and even those... Like I like how Dangerfield. I know that this guy. Let me just research really quick if I'm pronouncing if it's the right name. No, I'm thinking Rodney something. Wait, Rodney. I saw it. Dangerfield. No, I was correct. It's Dangerfield. There you go. Why you Google is just respecting this man? He gets no respect at all, right? Fucking love this guy. He actually was clean with the shit, like when it came to curses and all. And he even back then he was already considered over like offensive and shit. This was way before 2000s. I just don't know, man. Like when that's why it makes us have to go back to like Alisha saying, old stand-up. We have to. Because it's still funny. Yeah, it's Rodney Dangerfield. I think that was the right guy, right? Why doesn't Dangerfield just pop in first, man? Now it does. because of the cookies and shit. Yeah. And even back then, he was already like offensive, and this guy didn't even curse. Imagine that shit. So
Getting in a room, talking that shit, etc. But writing the fucking research paper, going in there, reading the fucking articles, talking to the experts.
Yeah, but the news don't want to do that no more. They want shit. I want Ric Flair. Everybody loves Ric Flair.
Tucker Carlson's perfect.
Yeah.
Tucker's entertaining.
Yo, Tucker gotta drop a woo. He gotta drop a woo, yo.
That's what it is. They want that, and the news cannot do that anymore. And then they see Rogan with his numbers, and then he gets all the publicity that we can't get. We can't get all that money. We want that money. You can't get that.
Yo,
and
Tucker,
they kind of cry about that shit.
Tucker, low key.
Tucker's
He's the most.
fine.
He just gotta be like. He really got to be like, so what do the Democrats think? It doesn't matter what the Democrats think. He got to go full wrestling, bro.
That's what it said.
If he went full wrestling, I think he gets everybody on.
Him versus Don Lemon.
Bro.
Oh,
Don kick
they get in the
Goldust?
ring, bro.
Nah, Don Lemon don't want
did he
that.
say fucking Don Lemon?
Bro, gets everybody on.
Him versus Don Lemon.
Bro.
Come on.
Don kick
They get in the
Goldust?
ring, bro.
Nah, Don Lemon don't want that smoke, bro.
No, I can't handle it.
Nah.
No.
Tucker out here calling Nancy Pelosi Michael Jackson. Imagine what we're going to do with Don Lemon.
Yeah, I think the only one who could go head to head with him would be Jon Stewart. I'd watch that.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah. Now Jon Stewart would be a rival. That would be true. It was super not clean. What I mean with clean was the like he didn't curse, like ever. I think I've seen the shows itself. He didn't curse, maybe once or twice, but I think he was always clean. But when he came to the topics that he would usually talk about, right? Yeah, he could step the line. But here's the thing: it's about like the comedian is about stepping the line and not going over it, right? That's the beauty of comedy and a good comedian. It was really great times.
Stewart's an actual comedian. Like Stewart will mop the floor with Tucker.
What about actual combat?
Oh, actual fight?
Yeah.
Who's gonna win in a fight?
Yeah.
Oh, Anderson Cooper. Did he? The pain tolerance, bro. Just think about it. The pain tolerance is different.
He's assuming he's a bottom.
Say what?
That's mad.
Yeah.
I don't know how many books he had to
That's
read to know that shit.
disrespectful.
But the fact that he just
Assuming.
knew he was a
Assuming.
bottom.
I know for a fact.
Me in New York, bro. I need a pause, bro.
Fast forward. Okay.
Actually, wait, no. We were talking about the Rogan thing. Yes. The other thing I was going to say is like when people watch a podcast, and this is the mistake of the people, and I feel like people do this with comedy too, is they'll listen to Rogan and they'll internalize things as facts. Mm-hmm. I'm just listening to somebody have a conversation, whether they're right or wrong. Like, I'm not assuming that.
Yeah.
The same way people go to Dave Chappelle's comedy special, and they're like, that's facts. No, it's not. It's a joke. Because comedians oftentimes they'll obfuscate the truth, they'll stretch facts.
Yeah, like sometimes people think, for example, Bill Burr, when he was making all those jokes about basically married life. Right? Why would I get married? There's like 50-50 chance of it not working out, yada, yada, yada. And basically the MGTOW fucking bullshit and all those movements and stuff, so-called men's rights movement or whatever, which isn't anything to do with that, hijacked that fucking thing. They hijacked Bill Burr. My God, Bill Burr is like the anti-marriage look, guys. And they would post his fucking clips like some numbskulls, right? Because they thought this guy was anti-marriage. Well, obviously, years passed and he married, right? And he's living very happily and shit. I'm not going to say this is going to last forever because I don't know. No one fucking knows. But people took his fucking jokes to the performance that he did on, specials as like, that's facts. That's the truth. That's what's going to happen. Like they saw a person with facts rather than someone with jokes, which is the fucking comedian. You can like, this is funny, but it's also true, whatever. You can interpret your own shit. That's part of art, right? It's for you to interpret shit the way you want. But you can't be like, this guy is a racist because once in a comedy show he said this and yada, yada, yada. No, you're going in fucking tangents, all right? Just stick to what you know about a comedy show, which is jokes, right? They are not, sometimes they will bring a fact, but sometimes the punchline is not even factual. The punchline has to be something fake so that it's funny. Bill is married now, and people were like, "Oh, Bill Burr is like he betrayed us." No, he fucking didn't betray you, dumbass. He was just telling jokes, and you took it seriously. Like, this guy is not going to marry because of the 50-50. It's a fact. Like, it's the statistics indicate is like a 50-50 chance that you might get divorced, right? But what he didn't say, and obviously he didn't have to say, like, that's not his responsibility in a goddamn comedy show, was that he might still decide to one day to get married. Why not? Right? Because he will see advantages in that shit. And people took that seriously. It goes both ways, of course. Like, both sides of the spectrum here. Exactly the same thing here with Joe Rogan. People will go like, oh, like, he's trying to say facts here with the Planet of Apes. Like, no, it was a joke that didn't land or whatever. Or a joke, it's just a pure joke. Pryor knew how to cross the line without crossing the line. That's the best comedians. Is when they step it, but they don't go over it. Example, Oprah Winfrey, black and bought, but rich with a voice has a movement or Obama. Money in the 60s is nothing compared to money now. You know, I guess different standards. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? You're not late. Welcome. Get the likes up. We should be up at 100%, people. don't donate something. No, people, relax. You know, obviously donate, and that's always appreciated. I fucking love you for that, but don't feel pressure to do that shit, okay? Fuck. Let alone, but I appreciate that, BM. Thank you so much for the faith. But people, donate whenever you want, whatever you want. Don't, especially considering that YouTube gets fucking 20%. So keep that in mind. Those fucking sons of bitches. Yeah, YouTube hasn't been doing anything bad. I actually, you know, the whole thing of them, like, if you're a new content creator now, apparently you can get censored or whatever. That's a little bit of a yikes, but we'll see. With two beautiful babies, yeah. How did he betray anyone? Because he told jokes about, like, how, you know, married life, like he was telling the story of his dad, you know, talking shit about his mother and all that, like how married life was, you know, this typical bullshit and whatever. But again, people took that personally, like they thought that was factual and that Bill Burr was scarred for life and he would never marry, but there you go, he married. So there was a lot of organizations that thought, like, you know, like the MG Toes and stuff, they went like, the red pill community and shit, you know, oh, the guy sold us. Like, no. Basically, you just misunderstood what he... Based on a comedy show, you thought you knew the guy. Without ever fucking talking to him. That's a beautiful part.
They'll misplace timings all the time when they're telling a story
100%.
Of a real event. And that's okay because you're doing it for the punchline. But the viewer, the issue with them is like, they're like, man, when you got the baby situation, like, he was wrong. Like, the baby shot in self-defense. Like, nigga, this is not a self-defense.
Oh, shit, thank you. Oh, goddamn, BM. Holy shit, 20 fucking...
Beach.
God damn, man, you're fucking crazy. Thank you so much. $20, you paid me. That's literally, with Alisha and all that, the day's paid. When it comes to the minimum wage in this country, sad, man. $22 will do. But hey, thank you so fucking much. That is a lot. Thank you so much. But yeah, Michelle's there. How you doing? But yeah, thank you so much for the $20. That's fucking crazy. Thank you so much. Wait, why isn't latest super chat updating? It's here, right? Does it take time or something? No, it should update because Alisha was like, this isn't yesterday's. I just wait a little bit, BM, so this updates, but I'm not sure why it's not updating.
Yeah.
You're watching a comedy special. But I think there's also a responsibility on the viewers to not be so lazy and to not just hear something and be like, that's the truth.
Yeah, you got to remind them it's comedy. It's like, you know, when you're on stage,
Yeah.
and someone's like, excuse me, actually, what? Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Mouth.
It's such a terrible situation, like a terrible moment for you to say, hey, I gotta fact check you on that one. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, most people understand that when, for example, when it happened with Kevin Hart, when he told that joke about smashing a doll's house on his boy's head. Yeah, no shit that he actually wouldn't do that shit in real life. Like, he would just have like a doll house inside of the house for no fucking reason and just smash his own son with that shit. Like, oh, you got your family got COVID, Michelle? Holy shit! But except you, fucking strong. Look at that shit. That's uranium. So I'm hoping everyone gets better and don't get it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your whore mouth.
Yeah.
Let me just not. You guys are chatting a lot. Holy shit! Let me see if I can keep up. What you referring to, Alisha, when you said you know why? I'm sorry. Ryan to go play if Fallout. I modded my flat out. Why I want to keep saying that shit? My Fallout is absolutely modded to piece. Like, it's unplayable at some point because I made so many settlements and with so many resources that at this point I don't even know if the game moves. But yeah, you reminded me of a good game there.
Comedy, shut up. We're not here for that. Actually, shut the fuck up. Like, there's always people like that.
Low key, I can see that happen with you guys a lot because you'll be on your YouTube channel and you'll say what is happening in a story. So people might perceive you guys as the news, not only comedians, because you guys are stand-up comics, but probably the most interaction people have with you guys is delivering them the news.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which is sad. Which is sad. Which is so sad.
Something because early in my career, and Alex can probably talk about this too, is like when I was doing Brilliant Idiots, a lot of people didn't know me as a comic.
Yeah.
So they would hear me saying these wild things on Brilliant Idiots and be like, this kid is going crazy. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
You were wild on Brilliant Idiots.
But here's the thing. Once I put out...
I was a wild boy.
I was a wild boy.
That Tariq Nasheed episode, I said, this nigga's wild.
I'm a wild boy.
He was moving mad.
I'm a wild boy.
You never see this man in his early days? Mad.
Yeah, I was out here. But I put out some stand-up, literally put out stand-up, and then all the people that watch the podcast saw the stand-up, and they're like, oh, here are the fleshed out versions of those crazy takes, and he's just being a comic on a podcast, and it immediately changed the perception. Everybody that was like upset or frustrated or didn't understand me before, after that moment, immediately started going, oh, he's just doing that comedian thing.
Right.
And it was liberating, bro. Because I got to go be myself on the podcast instead of being like someone who's a social commentator. I'm a comedian, bro.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And that's why it'd be interesting to see you guys put out more stand-up. Because people could look at you guys for the truth and look at you guys for the information, but then when you guys are busting balls or you have that kind of hot take that's a little spicy, they go, yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. These guys are comics.
But I would want to have more comedy on my channel, but
shit's a little dead right now.
Shit's a little dead right now.
What do you mean Canada?
No, it's Canada's dead.
It's dead.
There's a reason why.
Hold on a second. What did he say? This was my theory, but I think I'm right. I'm not the only one fucking thinking this. Shit is dead, man. There's nothing happening.
I would want to have more comedy on my channel, but
shit's a little dead right now.
Bro!
To have.
I fucking knew it. It wasn't like just me. The world's so boring right now. There's stages where nothing's happening at all.
More comedy on my channel.
Yeah. They go, yeah, that's what they do. Look, these guys are comics.
But I would want to have more comedy on my channel, but
shit's a little dead right now.
Shit's a little dead right now.
What do you mean Canada?
No, it's Canada's dead.
It's dead.
There's a reason why we got that freedom convoy.
Yeah. So are y'all supporting the race?
I mean, exactly, man. That's so weird to me. But I fucking knew it, man. I had this impression, but even big YouTubers are feeling that. It's so boring right now. Nothing's happening. What is this? I guess COVID also, like, that was my initial thought, but I mean, we're pretty much out there already. Like, we're not fully 100% COVID free and doing the same shit as we did before. But I mean, people are already on the streets. You would expect some wild shit happening. There's nothing we can pick up. Back in 2015, we had those pranksters going around, like, fucking up cars and public property and shit like that. We could talk so much about it. Everything was recorded, right? I kind of miss those idiots, man. I complain about those people, but honestly, like right now, I miss those people. I miss those idiots on the fucking camera, right? Now we can't talk about it. There's nothing. Like, you either talk about something that is not really that funny. I mean, Joe Rogan's not funny. Like, there's nothing to have a comedy about. Like, you really can't put any jokes into this situation. It's just, I like to talk about it because there's always an opinion, but it's like very serious. And I usually don't like to be too serious in my channel. You know, a lot of people perceive me as a comedian. I wouldn't go that far, right? But I like to joke around and have this energy and shit like that. But I mean, there's nothing fucking happening. Even when I go to Reddit and look for videos that, you know, are not really news, but it's happening and I could comment, there's nothing interesting happening. It's either very hard, like severe shit, like fucking sexual harassment and whatnot, or sometimes just pure, you know, violence, whatever. There's not a lot we can talk about, man. Yeah, I mean, for example, reality TV, because here's the thing, you already know it's so fake that you can't even, like, I don't know, reality TV is already funny as is, because it's so dumb, right? To comment that shit, like, even if you make jokes about that shit, you're just gonna make the show even smarter. You know, there's nothing, you can't go funnier than actual terrible fucking acting most of the times. It's sad, man. But I was having this impression, and now it's confirmed even by them. Everything is so goddamn boring. And now they're going to talk about Canadian freedom and all that. But I would like to, you know, like segment this video, and I think this is pretty much already good. All right. So there you go. Alisha's going to go to work. I mean, I gotta close this down. I'm kidding. But I'm gonna have to go because I wanted to edit this video. Not edit this video, but put timestamps so that you don't have to fucking rewatch everything. Oh yeah, talking about like small feet. I think it's the shoes, honestly. I think it's the shoes. I noticed that shit too. Oh, I was referring to people not sitting online all day. Normal people have lives. Yeah. Because people don't trust the actual news. And besides, way back in time, news. Yeah, people are looking for these alternative, you know, alternatives to mainstream, of course. And to be honest, I think it is better. Even if you like, oh, but for example, the quartering is biased. Everyone is going to be biased to some extent. But at least you have choice on YouTube. And there's so many people, like, you're one search away from having someone with an opinion that you might agree or something that will challenge your thought process. And I find that beautiful. While on TV, you really don't do that. I mean, with CNN or Fox News inside there, like, you have to comply with a standard. Do you think Fox News is going to release some shit that is going to make Republicans look bad? Of course not. It's not going to happen. And obviously the same to CNN, to the left and shit like that. It might have white feet though. What matters is the base. It's the calm before the storm. I really hope that, Lizzie. Lizzie? How should I pronounce that? I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. God damn it. I thought this was what I like. This is just occasional. No, I'm just a dumbass with fucking names. Comedy started dying when they started pushing out reality TV. Oh, there you go. Over comedy series. That's true. Like, I want to find something like The Office, which was something that already didn't get developed nowadays. It was back in 2000s. Can't find anything. Maybe Parks and Recreations, which is kind of the same thing. Right? I disagree because Bill Cosby and such were way more funny than the reality TV. Yeah, back then. That's the point that we're saying. I don't mind being thought-provoking comedy. Usually it's the best. It's when people take it too seriously that it becomes a problem. You know, you got out of work. Sometimes I don't even know if I should be. I'll wake up and what time is it? What day? Is it Saturday? No, I don't even know my own schedule, so let alone other people's schedule. Yeah, but no, days off, right? True, YouTube does offer varying opinions on the facts versus one skewed one. Yeah. Liz, I like that. Liz, what can I say? Liz, every time I like a Brazilian mispronouncing your name. It's Liz, No, that was a terrible attempt. Liz, no, I don't know how they would say it, but Liz. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with that. I like that. Reality TV is, yeah, it's funny. Like we've been discussing this yesterday, I think it was, with Black Ink Family and shit like that, for example. Liz A. Half of your vocabulary comes from reality TV. Holy shit.
Racist, homophobic, misogynistic, freedom
Hell yeah, I
convoy,
want to
or
support the people that want to kill me, for sure. I'm just waiting for a truck to come by so I can be like, hey, take me home, daddy.
That's a mischaracterization.
If I get to do another comedy show, run me over, bro. I'm so sick of this shit.
I mean, we're so bored at this point that even getting run over to create a story is going to make it everything way better. Yeah, but it is boring, man. Nowadays, there's nothing really that you... Like Karen's freaking out in public, We need those, man. That usually happens in summer. Maybe people are starting overheating or some shit, and people start doing something really dumb. A bit tipsy. There you go. As long as it's not working, you know. You're not working.
I sat by the road. Some bitch tried to give me cookies. I'm like, I thought the KKK was about to roll through. She had cookies. They were baking stuff. Blankets. Little gingerbread man. Bruv.
Come on now.
You want some poutine? They got that shit by the side of the road. It's crazy.
Oh, it's happened in Montreal too.
And in Quebec City.
Like I've seen, that was hilarious. Let me just have a kind of an extra segment here. But what was it, man? It was what was it? Fuck, I forgot. It was Canadians helping fallen cop or something like that. That was so Canadian, man. But I don't think I can see it. It was like a clip, and this cop like basically tripped on ice, right? And people just like rushing to help him out and stuff. I was like, holy shit, that is truly Canadian, man. Even the people who were you know, manifesting, that's not the word I'm looking for, protesting.
Got you.
They've been converging
Quebec
from
City's
everywhere.
the capital, right?
It's happening in my hometown of Ottawa. The shitty place, but it's the capital.
I didn't know you're from Ottawa.
Yeah.
I was born there, but I grew up elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to come from Toronto. If it's Canadian, it needs to come from Toronto. Otherwise, we're not gonna know where the fuck you are. Or Quebec. That's pretty much the two places that people know. But yeah, that's pretty much. Let me just which I don't even have a camera for this, man. Like this one, does it work? It does. Just completely out of fucking balance and shit. Yeah, that reset. I'm sorry about that. But there you go. I gotta end. I'm sorry that today, from like your off day, I'm not gonna stream for too long, right? But I really just need to have time to set up this video with at least timestamps, and then make have good sleep and do tomorrow more videos. It is. Yeah, I don't like alcohol at all. Maybe a little bit of whiskey after like a heavy meal or some shit like that. I don't know why, but that feels nice. Shit. I'm sorry that I have to cut this short, but I just want to make the video short so that this way, I can keep it concise. People will actually watch it. Maybe 1 hour and 30 minutes, I guess. We'll see. I'm not expecting too much, but I'm pretty sure YouTube already demonetized this shit. Let me check. I'll show you if it's the case. And thank you so much for all the donations. Okay, Alisha, let me just check this real quick. KN Byam, thank you so much for the $20. All right. Silver Top gotta eat too. Well, there you go. Alisha for $10, and I was gonna say $2, but that's from Surrealist yesterday. So yeah, it's not updating the fucking donations, man. I need to fix that. I thought it was stream labels, but nope. I don't know. I'll have to check that. I'm sorry for that, for not updating the super chat. I'm gonna have to figure that shit out. But yeah, thank you so much, Brian. I'm sorry if it's not updating this shit. I really don't know what's happening. Maybe it's OBS that needs to update some shit. But yeah, it's already limited. There you go. I wasn't fucking lying. Look at this shit. No, sorry. There you go. Limited. Boop, boop. I'm not gonna make any money, but fuck it. Let's just... Why keep this, right? So yeah, there you go. That's what he said. There you go. Excuse me, my voice really does not work more than 2 hours. I don't even know how can people do podcasts. Goddamn. Oh yeah, mixed drinks and shit like that. Now that is nice when you put some strawberry or some mango or some shit. I guess that works. But yeah, thank you everyone. All right, I'll try to make more streams and shit. I really can't listen. I try scheduling things. Even my fucking clips, my gaming clips, I can't schedule shit. I'm just done with it. Oh, thank you so much, Alisha, for another $5. God damn it. See if I closed it earlier, man. Maybe talking too much after ending, or saying that I'm ending, right, is a benefit. But thank you so much. Another super sticker, $5. Thank you so much. Look at how they describe this shit. Lemon character moving his head from left to right with his mouth wide open. That's very descriptive. Holy shit. But thank you so much. Obviously, I could react to more, but this is already itself for 2 hours. So assuming that I put other 2 hours of reaction, stuff like that, that's going to be too long and shit. And I guess these topics, I mean, it's boring. It's not like this is not their fault or whatever. It's just boring, man. You know, talking about like drinking, it isn't even that much of a big deal or whatever. I don't know, man. Tinder swindler documentary. I don't know what that shit is. I'm gonna have to do some research. As he said, the research is the most boring part, but we gotta do it, I guess. Tomorrow, there should be a video. Let's see how it plays out. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. All right, I really gotta leave now. Otherwise, my voice is gonna start cracking, and I want you to see that side of mine, okay? We're gonna do it 1 hour and 30 minutes precisely. Oh, there you go. It's already done. All right. So I gotta go. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. And thank you so much for all the donations. Viewership, okay, that the simple fact that you're watching is a lot to me, really. I mean that. Alisha, KN, Bayam, all right, Michelle, Liz, and pretty much everyone who's already here. You know, Cadiz, I see you there as well. Sorry if I'm butchering your word, but butchering your name, but join the club. That's me. Sally, thank you so much. Let me see if I can find more. Yeah, and obviously Nixon was also here earlier. You're nasty. I can't complain about my voice just cracking. Bye, y'all. Have a great rest for your day. Thank you so much, Michelle, and be careful. And Alisha, thank you so much as well. Everyone, I gotta go because I don't even drink normal bottles. It has to be these big ones. So thank you so much, and I'll see you some other day. Thank you so much.